This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Mic check. 1, 2. Are we recording? Hi, I'm Michelle Bernstein, an award-winning chef, restaurateur, and mom. I have a lot on my plate, including my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. That's why I was prescribed Cosentyx. It helps me move better.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for people 2 years of age and older with active psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some were fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
I'm Alex, synths and samples for our Church of the Sea, and you are watching the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Where are you located?
Greece, Athens, Greece.
Oh, that's right. What's it like over there? Is it hot?
It's getting warmer. Actually, the weather is crazy right now. One day is hot and the other day is raining, storms. It's crazy. But other than that, Greece is a crazy place regardless. So
you guys got a great metal scene over there, though.
We do actually.
I mean, I'm thinking like Nightfall and Septic Flesh and
amazing bands. I've been listening to those guys. You may not tell, but I am quite old. I'm actually 47. I've been listening to those guys since their beginning, the late 80s, early 90s. Right. It was crazy back then. Many great bands emerging from that era.
What's the scene like? Do you have a lot of places to play? Is there a lot of metal there?
There's a lot of metal. Unfortunately, there are not that many places to play. Not many venues. There are not many venues, with the capacity of 100, 200 people, so that they can support, local bands, smaller bands. Right. That's the issue. I mean, if we are talking Athens, which is the capital, which is where half the country's population lives in, we are talking about 3 venues with that capacity, and then another.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's tragic, actually. Another 2 or 3 venues for the capacity of 1,000, 2,000 people, and that's just about it. 2 or 3 places.
Wow. I want to get over there because I want to swim in the Aegean. I've seen those pictures, and there's nothing. It looks like there's nothing better than that.
Islands, we are full of them.
And they're beautiful.
They're beautiful. I mean, I'm a Greek, and I still I'm not used to it. I'm not bored of it at all.
So let's get into the band then. Church of the Sea. Let's I guess we could just jump right in here. Your new album Eva reimagines the biblical story of Eve as a rebel rather than a sinner. What inspired you to reinterpret such a foundational myth, and how did this concept shape the album's musical and lyrical direction?
Actually, that concept came from our lead singer, Irene. It was her idea. She was at an art gallery of all places, and I think she looked at the painting, and she thought of that myth of Eva biting the apple, Eva being betraying Adam, being gullible, being naive, and she reimagined that in a way that Eva is not that naive after all. Maybe she's a rebel. Maybe she did what the heart wants. And she came to us with the concept. She also wanted to incorporate some more traditional themes. And we tried it, it worked, and actually the album took off from that. All songs came one after the other at that point. It was as if one concept was the driving force to drive the whole composition of the album.
Okay. The music and the visuals of Eva, they evoke a sense of ritual and transcendence, blending heavy doom with that ethereal chant-like stuff you guys have going on. Did you view the creative process as a kind of spiritual practice? And if so, how does this shape the atmosphere and intent behind the sounds?
It's a bit of a heavy question. I wouldn't say that we use it as a spiritual cleansing of sorts. But since the beginning of the band back in 2017, atmosphere and the mood was the basis of the band. We didn't care that much of hooks, pop structures, but we were very concentrated on creating an atmosphere that when we play live or when you listen to the music, you get in sort of a trance. It's not, the most up-tempo music, but we like to think that, it takes you places.
What was I going to say? When you're writing then, are you finding it therapeutic?
Therapeutic, yes, in a way, perhaps, it's an escapism. I think it's the most correct term. The song maybe can be start with a simple riff or a vocal line, but then we delve really into creating an atmosphere with all the background noises and stuff. So when we play, it's more, you could say it's a bit meditative, surely escapist. I mean, when I play, I go to a different place, that's for sure. I don't know if it's therapeutical, but it's...
Are you writing these songs like with the stage setting in mind how they're going to come across live, or are you writing the songs for the song's sake and then translating them?
Yeah, sometimes when we write them, I sort of imagine them that could be a killer opener, imagining all the lights and stuff, and using that to drive the song forward. I mean, how we can create different dynamics, perhaps, and how it would blend in to the set in a live structure. Yeah, we definitely do that.
Okay. One more about the lyrics and stuff. In what ways do you hope your work inspires listeners to question inherited beliefs or embark on their own journeys, regardless of their religious background?
Regardless of their religious background. Just, the thought of a myth that used a woman that she was, gullible and naive to think that, maybe like her, you can doubt the beliefs and rebel against what the status quo is. Just that little idea, if we can incorporate that into other people's minds, that would be enough for us. That's our belief anyway.
I think heavy music and metal in general has always had that at its core, right? The idea of questioning everything and then maybe finding your way in it, but not just accepting everything at face value and kind of digging in a little bit and doing your own research, right?
Yeah, exactly. I always say that, back in the day, rock and metal was a bit of a badass, We were a little punks in a good way. I fear that nowadays we are a bit too much of a good guys, all metalheads. We need a little bit of that, being the bad guys in what society regards as, bad kids, questioning things, rebel against what is the norm,
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think also music in general, especially kind of music on the fringes, has always had a way of kind of shining a mirror back on society, right? Like you had the 60s, the protest 60s, and then you had the 70s with whatever. All the way through till now, I think there are still, and you're right, a lot of bands shy away from it, but there are still bands like yourselves that are still out there saying, hey, take a look at this. Maybe it's not what you think, or, maybe we have some issues here.
Yeah, it's part of the rock and metal. It's at its core, and it should be, and it should be more.
I 100% agree, and I know it's not, like we said, all across the board, because people are shy away from it at times. And I don't think it has to be divisive either, right? You could put everything out there and say, hey, here's Eva. and here's our thoughts, and maybe think about it. But you're not really forcing anything down anyone's throat.
No, 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 no. We are totally against that. But would just want to scratch a little itch there,
Right.
provoke a little thought.
And I think that's fantastic. What when you guys are writing, are you writing everything like in the same room together, or are you bouncing stuff back and forth via like email and that sort of stuff?
Lots of emails and lots of homework. Unfortunately, it's how the band is structured. It's basically me with synths and samples. Excuse me. Vangelis, who is the guitar player, and then Irene with vocals. So there's no drummer, no bass guitar player. All is with electronics and samples. So basically, all that electronic stuff is done by me at home, and then I show it to the guys, and they get feedback. So a lot of homework, unfortunately. That makes the process not that organic, perhaps because we are not all together to make music, but that's a sacrifice that we have to make.
I think when I'm listening to your stuff, though, there's like some traditional heritage stuff, right? There's some traditional Greek melodies and some traditional Greek stuff in it. Can you share how the Greek heritage and local Athens scene influences your sound and vision?
Actually, that's very funny because, again, Irene had the idea to incorporate some traditional stuff. And to be honest, I never listened to traditional Greek music before. And I was wondering, how the hell are we going to... It sounds interesting, but we have never done it. And to be perfectly honest, I don't listen to that much stuff at home. And she says, okay, we'll figure it out. And then she comes back with a vocal line. And it's crazy, man. It's like part of your DNA. I listened to that part, and all that music came out. I have never played stuff like that before.
Really?
And you said it sounds very traditional. Man, I have never tried that before, but stuff really gets into your heart, man, into your DNA, to your environment, how you grow up, and it's all there.
And I think that circles back to when you said, doing the electronic thing is not so organic. I think this makes it very organic. And I think it's also a reason why a lot of these bands like Corpaclani or Encephalum, they incorporate folk, I hate to use the word, but like traditional instruments and traditional melodies into their music. And metal fans accept it because it's still very, very intriguing, but it adds depth and an organic kind of feel to it, right?
Yeah, because, our roots are always there. They follow us. And when we listen to them, whether we realize it or not, they hit a chord in our hearts or somehow.
Okay. You guys have played some pretty unique venues, including St. Paul's Anglican Church in Athens and a few festivals.
Yeah.
How do these atmospheric settings and diverse lineups impact your performance?
We have played with punk bands, and we have played with doom metal bands and progressive rock bands. And I really like that because it's as if we are, embraced by all kinds of different communities and scenes. And that was always the part. We didn't want to be this or that. Right. That's a cliche. But it turns out that we are actually embraced by different scenes. And we really dig that because we are fans of different stuff as well. The church was awesome. It was very atmospheric. We couldn't play loud enough. That was the only trouble.
But it was an actual church?
Sorry?
It was an actual church?
It's an actual church, but they are open-minded enough to host, different kinds of gigs and concerts and stuff. So we are lucky to have that at least, and we managed to pull that off. It was amazing.
That's really cool. I know when I interviewed the guys from Septic Flesh not too long ago on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and they were talking about playing the Acropolis. And I mean, I think that's so great.
I was there.
Oh, you were?
Man, you wouldn't believe it. It was earth-shaking. You couldn't believe it watching them. Like I said, I grew up with those guys, and watching them in that setting was surreal. I mean, you watch opera there. You would never imagine watching a metal band, and the metal band that you grew up with playing there. It was an ancient Roman theater right below the Acropolis. It was one of the best shows I've ever watched.
Yeah, that's what they were saying too, and that's really great. And I like that you're able to do that, on a smaller scale, but in like a traditional Anglican church. And that's kind of cool. And I think it changes the vibe a little.
It does, and thankfully have people who are open-minded, and they provide these venues for rock and metal bands, and it's cool, man. It really adds to the experience, both for the crowd and the band. And we all go there respectful for the venue. The Septic Flesh concert, everyone said that the metalheads were top notch. And in our show in the church, we were totally respectful. Nothing was harmed. So why not?
I think that is the coolest thing about the metal community is, and it's the most misunderstood by people who don't
definitely
know about it, because we're all very respectful, right? Nobody cares what color you are, what race you are, who you're sleeping with, if you're playing in a church. It doesn't matter. We're very, very, very enjoy ourselves, but super respectful, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And of course,
yeah, it is. I don't know why, but maybe because it's the love for the music, because they want to go there and enjoy the music, and they don't want to start a riot, because that's what everybody is afraid metalheads will do. But that's not the case. We want to experience the music, enjoy the show.
And I think it goes beyond that too. I know we're so far off track, but I think it goes beyond that, right? I think it's about the people.
Yeah,
I love the people.
I do myself, actually. I mean, we may be, trapped in adolescence, but I don't care, man.
Oh no! I mean, I'm even older than, I know you just told me your age, and I'm even older than you, and I feel the same way, right? I'm still doing this, and I'm still listening to it, and I'm excited about going to shows, and yeah, that's just, it's in your DNA. It doesn't go away.
Exactly.
I don't think you see that in any other musical genre either, right? I mean, people still doing. I mean, look at Halford, the godfather of it all. He's in his mid-70s, or Klaus Meine is almost 80, and they're still kicking ass and doing their thing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why. Maybe it's good and bad. Maybe because we are trapped in adolescence and we don't realize that we are too old for this shit. But who cares, right?
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Who cares? And is there an age limit that you tap out at? I don't think so.
No, perhaps not. Obviously not, I should say. Like you said, Halford still kicks ass at his 70s. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I could see me talking to you in 20 years from the nursing home in the community room doing this bullshit.
and we will still be talking about the same shit. Sorry for my language. But
no, you're fine. We'll talk about the same crap all the time, right? So yeah, it's very, very strange, and it's this weird little microcosm. What do you have planned to take this on the road? Is that a thing?
I don't know if we were able to take it on the road. We have a few gigs lined up. We play actually this Sunday, and there's a festival, a female-fronted festival, coming up in, I think it's late November. We are talking about a tour, but there are logistics and practicalities about that. I don't know if possible. About all. You know how it is. We're staying locally for now. We have, plenty of gigs to play, and we'll see how it goes.
Let me ask you a question. So, not the biggest genre. We're not still playing in Madison Square Garden all the time, but would you be doing this even if 3 people were listening?
Yeah, probably. I won't lie. I don't mind the attention, obviously. Sure. But this I've been playing for ages. This version of what we have, it turns out to be very personal. I mean, it's the 3 of us, but we have found something that is very, I would say, not very common.
Right.
It's hard to describe it. It's personal because we have put our heart and soul into it, and it's different because it's our own. I haven't found it in any other band, so I would still play regardless.
Right, and I think that's when it becomes the most honest, and that's probably when it resonates more with people, when you're just doing it for the sheer love of writing music and expressing yourself. I think that's when it connects, not when you sit down and say, shit, I have to write a song for this deadline or for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when we started, our friends said that, you're trying to put in doom with shoegaze and stuff. There are only 10 people who are going to listen to that. And we're like, yeah, whatever, man.
But even if the 10 people listen,
it came natural.
That's still expressing yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly. When the 3 of us came together, that's what came out. we didn't fight it. It is what it is.
You ever feel like you put too much of yourself in the music? Too much of your lyrics or too much of your personal life?
No, I'm not afraid of that anymore, to be honest. You mean exposure, right? No, I'm not.
Vulnerable.
No, I'm not afraid of that. If anything, it's therapeutic. I mean, that's why it's there. To, whatever burdens I have inside me, to pour it in there in the music. So no, I don't feel exposed at all, to be honest.
On that same note, then, when you play those songs live that were tough to write or about tough things in your past or your history, is it tough revisiting that every night?
I know what you mean. To be honest, when I write music, I try to be in a good mood, regardless if I play the darkest.
Because you got to play those songs for the next 100 years, right?
Exactly. So yeah, however dark and moody and doom they are, they uplift me every time. So yeah, I don't put that much of the bad stuff into my music because I have to throw that away. Use the music. We like dark stuff, gloom and doom. We use it to actually as a positive note for us.
Fair enough. So one more, and then I'm going to switch gears for a second, if you don't mind. So if we can, if you can give us all your socials and anywhere we can find you or fans listening can find you.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Sorry, I have to check those because I'm getting old and don't remember what's our handles. So it's excuse me. Yeah, it's Church of the Sea in Facebook and Instagram, and Church of the Sea on Bandcamp. And you should also check out our label, These Hands Melt. It's an Italian label, and they do all the promo and distributions and stuff, and they have other amazing bands as well.
Okay,
that you should also check out.
Excellent. So we're going to shift gears for a second, if you don't mind. We've got like 5 minutes left, and I like to do some funny things that seem to draw lots of traffic. So nothing to do with the bands or even metal. You game?
Far away. I don't know what I'm getting into.
No, you don't. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Why?
Okay. I'm into food. Is hot dog a sandwich? I will say no. I know what you mean, but I think it's a category of its own. I will say sandwich, hot dog, and pizza. The ultimate, junk food, the holy trinity of junk food. It's 3 different things, I will say.
I agree, but what's your hang up? Is it that piece of bread that's holding it together?
If anything, the shape of the bread. The toast has to be, square.
Flat?
Flat. What can I say?
Is cereal a soup?
Cereal a soup. I will say again, no.
Oh, you're killing me.
Sorry, man. I imagine soup to be made out of water, and the milk spoils it for me to be considered anything else.
All right, here's your chance for redemption. You ready?
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza?
Pineapple on pizza. I know for me, but it's food, so anything goes, I will say.
I think that's a little bit of redemption. You've gone a long way to redeeming yourself.
What's your take? Pineapple on pizza?
No.
No.
I live in America, born here, but my grandparents are from Calabria, Italy. Very Italian. No pineapple on pizza. Pizza's got to be plain, just cheese, traditional. No bullshit.
For me, it's fully traditional. Pizza, the Italian way, Napoli, 100%. But yeah, you do you. But I agree. No pineapple.
Oh, I get it. Name 3 things you should never borrow.
3 things you should never borrow. Okay. Borrow or lend to others?
No, I'm saying borrow.
So for me, I will never borrow something from someone else.
Yeah. I'll get you started. I
will say the first thing that comes to mind, and sorry, man. I think the conversation will go downhill from there, but it's the first thing that went through my head. You really want to hear it?
I do.
A used condom.
Oh, I didn't even go there.
Sorry.
That's great. I was going with underwear, but you took me to a whole nother level.
Sorry, man.
No,
Needles,
I love
of
it.
course. I don't know, man. Sorry. That's how my brain works. And I don't know. Three things. I will never, okay, for on a serious note, I will never again in my life borrow a book. I borrowed the book from a friend. I gave it back to him a year later, and it was the most stressful thing. I will say, I will never doing this again. I'm buying everything. I can't have that on my shoulders, having something like a book that will take ages for me to read and another ages for me to visit him again, give it back. I don't want on my conscience. Sorry, I won't borrow a book again. That's my one and only serious answer to your request.
Okay. And let's see. If you're stranded on a deserted island and you could take 3 records with you, or 3 releases, assuming you have some solar powered player or whatever, what are they going to be?
3 things on a desert, and the only 3 things I will ever listen again in my entire life. Okay. Unknown Pleasures, no. Closer from Joy Division, I would need that one. I will also need something. Okay. My Dying Bride, Then Lose the Swans, one of my all-time favorite records.
What a great record. Yeah.
It's an amazing, it's one of my favorite records. I need that. I would definitely need that. Okay. And one else, I will go with, something to go with the seaside, the night atmosphere during night that can dance Serpent's Egg.
Okay. Are you good for 1 or 2 more?
Yeah, of course. Tons of fun. Let's go.
These are off the wall, so I'm not making them up. Name 3 things that are furry.
3 things that are furry. Okay, a cat. A bunch of toys that my daughters have. They're all furry, and it's killing me. And Pokemon, which is on my T-shirt.
All right. So the last one then. Name 3 foods that would be gross when blended into a smoothie.
Steak.
Oh.
Yeah, that would suck.
Steak smoothie.
What else? It would suck. Something like a tomato, or not. I will say tomato, though. I can imagine that. Oh, and another vegetable, something like a lettuce or something.
Yeah, a lettuce
But
tomato
I think the
smoothie
steak rules them all. That was the most grossest thing.
Fair enough. I hope that wasn't too bad. I like to just mess around here at the end.
No, it was tons of fun, man.
And I know we talked and went down the rabbit hole with all kinds of other stuff, but I try to stay away from the normal questions and get a little different.
No, I really enjoyed the conversation, how it went. I mean,
Thank you, my friend, for your time. I appreciate it. I really do love the music, and it was great talking to you.
It was great talking to you, man. I really enjoyed it.
Good for you, man. I hope everything stays well. Good luck with the record, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers, man.
Bye.
Bye.